So from a technology perspective, I think what we as a networking industry are lacking is giving you real-time visibility, access to your data. You want this data to be munged, to be able to really figure where this information is moving. So there are multiple pillars right here as well. I like to categorize as risk assurance, the first pillar being ability to really fence your data around places you trust, so have control over where the data is produced and where it's consumed. Let's say encryption regulations in a particular region or nation don't meet your standards. I want to make sure none of my traffic really traverses that region. So that's the kind of risk assurance posture as a CIO or a CISO would want to know, saying that, hey, I have complete control of where my data is going, flowing, consumed, and transiting. The second pillar is the performance persona. So I want some topologies that can really assure me certain loss, latency, jitter characteristics, so that when I really transact a payment, it should have the same level of service and quality to make sure it goes through every single time. And the third pillar is the path assurance. If I say, hey, I want only a particular network infrastructure vendor within my transit points, that's all I'll have. If there are untrusted appliances or hardware within the network, I want to avoid all of these. So that's the path assurance, getting guarantees not only from a regional level but also underlying infrastructure level. The traditional approaches, right, that exist in the industry, there are a couple of ways. The MPLS dark fiber way that gives you control of how your traffic traverses, gives you no visibility into what's happening. It's just, hey, I trust you, you build the fiber, you build the L2 infrastructure, you are assured that it's taking a particular path. Very heavy on the logistics involved in setting this up, time consuming, very little control for the end user, and zero visibility into what's happening on the underlying infrastructure. It's a black box, just like the dark fiber, you're getting a black box which you have no control over. The other end of the spectrum was the over-the-top tunnel solutions. You get a lot of visibility into the network in terms of, hey, it's going from point A to point B, but the level of control you get is really lacking because you're trusting the internet. It's running traffic over the public infrastructure and saying, hey, it can take any path. The provider doesn't have control over the path because these are not MPLS or dark fiber lines. So you get visibility, but then you completely lose control on the paths taken. So a few things that Graphiant's doing to get you this kind of assurance. We have control that we can offer to our customers by owning the middle mile of the infrastructure itself. And assurance is only as good as the amount of visibility you get about the compliance that you're meeting the regulatory requirements. So getting visibility in real time of what it's doing right now. Is it traversing regions I expect it to traverse? Is it taking paths that I think are compliant to me? Second, did they do that historically? So there's a forensic view of the world as well. Were they doing the same thing all along its lifetime? So giving a look back into what was happening in the past as well. Let's just say for the purpose of this example, you have China, which has restrictions on the encryption standards that you are allowed to use. I need to avoid the region. If I had to do it the traditional way, I'll have to go to my provider, say, hey, need an MPLS. I need to first and foremost block this path, get a new line dropped into my offices or enterprises, my locations, get it steered around this continent, and that process would be months. It's just logistics at that point. Graphiant comes in, it's a click of a button. It's just saying, hey, I want to avoid this region. I want to use a topology that completely blots out this region of the infrastructure. It's about 2 clicks and you're done.